Good afternoon. This is the Engineering Natural Resources Work Session Tuesday, November 12th at 2024, 2 p.m. Board of Supervisors Hearing Room, 1415 Melody Lane, Building G, Bisbee, Arizona. Pursuant to ARS 38431.02H, the public will have physical access to the meeting place 15 minutes prior to the start of the meeting. Any item on the agenda is open for discussion. Roll call. Ms. Judd, are you here?
Yes.
And Tom Crosby is here, and we will have further introductions perhaps in a couple moments. Members of the public may also attend this meeting via Microsoft Teams computer or mobile app or via phone by calling 602-609-7513 or 888-680-6714, conference ID 552-932-678#. If you have trouble accessing this meeting remotely, call 520-432-9200 for direction. Work sessions are a time for county staff to inform and discuss agenda items with the Board of Supervisors, and public comments will not be taken. With us today, we have Jackie Watkins, and I know I recognize Joaquin Solis. Is there anybody else that you care to introduce to us? Okay, that's everybody. Okay, that's fine. So we have, as I mentioned, Jackie Watkins, Director of Engineering and Natural Resources. Would you care to advise us today?
Before we start,
Okay.
did you say engineering or did you say flood control district?
I said Engineering and Natural Resources Work Session.
The flood control district is another agenda.
Gotcha. All right.
You.
Two parts,
Okay. Steve,
part one, part two.
That's what I was looking for.
thanks. You're all set. That's okay. That's okay. Ms. Watkins. Fortunately, we have, thank you.
I only have one third of it.
They pay extra.
Huh?
They
Are
pay
you ready
extra.
for me to? There we go. This is the engineering division of the department. First project is Moulton Road. That is from Hereford Road up to Highway 92. We are getting it designed with a $1 million grant from the Service NPO, 800,000 of county funds from our $6.1 million grant that we have to do Moulton Road with construction. The design cost is $1.8 million. Kimberly Horn is the design consultant. Right now, we're at stage one. We'll have done in April and get a NEPA, the environmental clearance, done by October next year. The final plans will be done in June of 2026. And this will be going to widen the road to have shoulders so that it's safer for pedestrians, people that ride bikes. So that's what the project is. We estimate the construction cost today would be about 25 to 30 million. Just depends on what the construction costs are, and we will still pursue grants. We have about $5 million that we can do one phase, and we will do that dip section that we have just for sight distance. And where it costs a lot for maintenance this last monsoon season, trying to fix that with better culverts. Davis Road has multiple projects on it. This is Davis Road, mileposts 5 and 13 for drainage. As the graph shows, this project started in 2003. We have $2.8 million from Senator Kelly's discretionary funds, with County HERF of $3.6 million. Stantec is the consultant that designed the project, and they are updating it and getting NEPA clearance so that we can have then ADOT will do oversight on the construction because of federal funds. Have the IGA completed on that project. So once the design is updated and the NEPA clearance verified with ADOT, then we will start construction. Plan on having that May, June. We'd like to start that project for construction. And the mileposts 5 and 13 on Davis. Those are there was 3 drainage projects on Davis, mileposts 5, 9, and 13. 9 was completed in 2017. And these are the other two spots on the road that if we shut Davis down because of flooding, that will take care of it. So this then will now be an all-weather road for 90. You still might have some heavy flooding, that's that road.
Where was the gift that you're talking about compared to Davis Ranch Gate? If you're familiar with that, what I'm familiar with is slightly west of the Davis Ranch Gate. And that was rebuilt into concrete or something.
Yeah, that was, so these two new projects are going to be about like what was down Monpulse 9. And that was just south of Davis Ranch Gate, that was Monpulse 9. So Monpulse 5 is the third, is where the curve is. And one of those is flattening out the curve so that you can take it safer. We
Okay.
had 4 or 5 semis roll over at that location. And then Monpulse 13 is by the 47 match.
Okay.
So that will do Davis Road for drainage at the moment. And then we have Davis Road from Highway 80 to North Central Highway. And this is a study that we have a $2 million grant, race grant from Federal Highways. Federal Highways is administrating it. We will have an IGA this winter. This started back in 2023. It's taken a while for us to get with Federal Highways and to finalize what we need to get with them. But we will hire a consultant to do this design for us and get NEPA clearance. Then once we have the NEPA clearance, we can start to buy the right-of-way. And we're buying 200-foot right-of-way. And so this is being a proactive project so that in the future, ultimate design, if with a new port of entry and 191, if it was updated, upgraded, and Highway 80, we would have enough right-of-way to do a 4-lane highway. That's not what we're getting designed, and that's not what we'll be constructing in the first phase within the next 30 years. We would just be putting in 8-foot shoulders on the road because that makes it a safer road for people if they break down, there's, turning left or right, that people can bypass. So that's what we're doing. That's what the design will be.
Right now, it's like deep, still like bondage.
You still have, yes, and just, it's an 8-foot shoulder, you're not going to notice that.
You have to bring in a lot of material, I
Yeah.
presume. Where are you gonna get it?
Borrow pits and adjacent property.
Mhm.
Typically, that's where roads is. If you drive down a highway or a freeway, you can see kind of pond areas, and that's usually a borrow
Oh,
from adjacent property.
I see.
And from Central Highway to 191, that's a current project. We're still acquiring right-of-way. We have 3 pending acquisitions. We've had concurrence with 2 of the property owners. We're still negotiating with 1 property owner. The design is completed at 90% by CEC. And the design, it was at 90% back in 2022. And so we're completing that design to upgrade it. And then we will go out and try to find some grants to construct that. And that will be to put in 8-foot shoulders on the side of the road. The Douglas Port of Entry. That is a project that between ADOT, the city of Sierra Vista, and the county. We have the ADOT is finalizing the design concept report and the NEPA clearance. There's going to be a public meeting next Tuesday, November 19th at 5 o'clock in Douglas for the NEPA clearance on that, where they will discuss and show the different options. There's 3 different options and then their preferred alignment, the alignment for the road. And ADOT is in getting consultants with Stantec to design the road. Right now, we have a $4.4 million grant through Arizona Smart Fund for the design, with the county putting in $100,000, City of Douglas $500,000. The City of Douglas, they have an $8.1 million grant from the Arizona Legislature appropriations. And so they're using that $8.1 million to help with construction. We will be using it for right-of-way, to acquire right-of-way, and for the design of the project.
Have you heard about funding in Mexico for the Mexican side?
Rumor that Yeah, that they will also be building there. They're not sure, they know that it's going to be right across from where the GSA, Government Service Agency, is putting in the new port of entry. They're just not sure at what location in that 40 acres, what it, I'm not sure how many acres they have on their side, where they will connect to ours.
Okay.
But that is federal government.
Don't
Okay.
they have a highway down there anyway? Like a
They have a
freeway?
highway down there, but they also have to cross a railroad track. So I think there's some negotiations with the railroad company. And
But what I was talking about was money.
um,
That's
they
some
told
kind
me
of
that they
citizen.
have the money.
Mhm.
That I haven't heard that they didn't.
Okay.
I do know it's 400 million. So GSA does have a design consultant. It's a design build contract, and they've already kicked that project off for the U.S. to build our site. They have that already going.
What does GSA?
And Government Service Agency, they're the federal government that builds ports. And we will be bringing an IGA to the board possibly on the 26th or not on December 10th with ADOT, so that they can't start the design phase until they get our funds, or the $600,000 from the city of Douglas, the county. And so we will bring an IGA to the board to get approved. And then Sharon is also working on an IGA with the city of Douglas for the port of entry. Because we need an IGA with the city to use their $8 million to pay for the right-of-way that we will buy, and the county engineering will acquire the right-of-way. We can do it faster than ADOT, so we will be doing the right-of-way acquisition in-house. Because the goal is to have the utilities in by 2027, and we want right-of-way cleared by, my goal is to have the right-of-way completed by the end of 2025, the acquisition of the right-of-way. But we have to wait till the NEPA clearance is completed before we can acquire right-of-way to be sure that what the true alignment is going to be, because right now there's 3 options for the alignment.
Are you talking about the actual crossing, the actual border crossing? The alignment of the actual border crossing?
You know, the alignment from Highway 80 down to the GSA property.
I see.
There's 3 different options that we can go with from Highway 80 down to the port of entry. And then we also applied for a $43 million grant for construction. The project has been anticipated to be around $78 million. And we applied for $43 million for a multimodal project discretionary grant. And we've answered some questions from them, so they haven't issued any of those grants, but we're still, they're still talking to us, so we hope to get that grant. And then ADOT will be putting in the rest of them.
So that 43 million is from the federal government?
Yes. So what in the federal government's port of entry. Then the Ramsey Canyon multi-use path, that's for the service to NPO project. We'll go from Stafford Lane, Richards Road down to 92. It's on the north side of Ramsey Road because of utility complex on the south side of Ramsey Road. Wilson and Company is the design consultant. They're finalizing the project as a scoping project. Then we will apply for grants to get it designed and constructed. We have right-of-way, so there's no right-of-way. There might be a few utility poles that need to be relocated. That would be a pretty simple project. And once the scoping project is done, then we will start applying for a grant to get the design done. Then you would
Could you define scoping for me?
scoping like a study, right? So they'll go out and do a scoping, should the path be on the north side of Ramsey Canyon Road, should be on the south side, should it be a straight line, just, is there conflicts? Because we're gonna meander it, so we don't have to cut down so many trees. We don't really want to cut,
Wasn't it originally going to be on the south side?
No, the south, we have 100-foot right-of-way. The road is not in the middle of it, it's more to the south.
Okay.
So we would have
I
to,
remember seeing
Yeah.
the pictures of it, and I Thought it was on the south
So
side.
it is on the south side from Richards Road going up into the canyon itself. And it comes from the north. But then you should be able to take a bike ride from Buffalo Soldier Trail and Surface all the way down up to the canyon and Mountain Lake too. But being that the road is in the middle of the right of way, we would have to take people's backyards to be able to put a bike path over. So that project's going pretty good. And then we're still doing our bridges and the 61 bridges, I think 61 bridges. And we, Consort is the consultants that will give us a 20-year replacement repair plan. Then the Rucker Canyon Road Bridge, we do have an off-system bridge grant for scoping to find out what type of bridge we replace it with. We have right-of-way, the clearances, and that's $135,000 from an ADOT grant that we will be bringing to the board to accept. That's not been done. We're waiting to get some stuff finalized on that. Then the Leslie Canyon culvert replacements, those have been on, we've been working on those for 2 or 3 years. We need to get a drainage easement to replace the one that has the weight limit on it. Then people that have water delivered to their homes won't have to do the very long detour down to 190. Then the other one we have coming to the board is Bell Ranch and Shelton Road. And that is would be a public-private partnership with Riverview to do, currently we want to do 7.5 miles all of Shelton and 2.5 miles on Bell Ranch and realign Bell Ranch and Shelton for a curve what's on Bell Ranch already. Because this project was originally on Shelton Road, the Riverview gave the county some material, some AV, and they put in like 4 inches of AV and then just chip sealed over it. That is not structurally sound enough for the heavy trucks of the dairy, for their trucks. So they contacted us, it was initiated by them, that if they provide, they will design the road to have wider shoulders. So right now, maintenance is heavily out there because we did not construct it wide enough for the shoulders and you're running next to the white line, and that's the edge of the pavement that kind of sloughs off. So we will have a 2-foot paved shoulder and widen, and we'll be putting in 18 inches of, 12 inches of subgrade material and 6 inches of aggregate base material. So that gets a better foundation because those trucks are so heavy, they are just deteriorating, destroying the foundation. So like chip seal is just a wearing surface. It's not a structure. There's no structure in chip seal. Chip seal is like if you have a roof on your house and you replace the shingles, that's like what a chip seal is. It's just a wearing surface. But you could put new shingles on a roof, but if termites were destroying the trusses, it's not going to work. And so right now, Shelton and part of Bell Roads, the base has failed because of the truck traffic. So with this, what we're proposing to do, the base will be better, just like a brand new foundation for your house, or new structure on your house. And that resolution should be coming to the board in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
What is the 18 inches of subgrade going to be made of?
It's rock, but it's a larger rock. It's like the aggregate base is minus 1 inch rock. So some of the subgrade will be a 2-inch rock. It's just rock has more strength to it than the material out there, because the material out there, we had it tested, and your minus 200, which is material behind minus 200, which is like a silt, there's no foundation. If you built your house on sand, it's just going to wash away. And that's pretty much what that material out there is. So it doesn't have a good foundation. And this will create a good foundation. And it's costing them more money it's costing them double about what it's going to cost us to do. Because it's already a paved road, so we don't have to do this. But then maintenance would be out there every year having to chip it and building up the shoulders repeatedly because of the trench running next to the edge of the pavement, and that's just sloughing off,
Thank you.
smushing it out. Good engineering term.
That's what
You
it
bet.
looks like when you were driving on it. Smushy.
Yeah, it is. And then Kansas Settlement Road, that's so Moulton Road, Davis Road, and Kansas Settlement Road are kind of the higher traffic roads that we have. Not the highest, but the higher. And Kansas Settlement Road is deteriorating also. And we did a geotech study on that 2 years ago. We just did 6 tests on it. It's 20 miles. We're going to go out and for $20,000, we're going to do more geotech every half mile because some of the testing that we did, there was anywhere from 4 to 7 inches of aggregate base course, but it was just either chip seal or it had asphalt. So we're trying to more precision on where the different chip seal, asphalt, how deep the asphalt is to try to come up with a plan to repave that to get a 20-year life out of it. Because if there's asphalt down there, we can just mill and fill that. Like what ADOT does on what they're going to be doing on Highway 90. They're milling, you grind it up, you haul that off, or you do cold in place recycle like what we did on Fort Grant Road. It worked very well. Fort Grant Road had 6-inch cracks in it that, it worked really well. That was done 6 years ago. And it lasts because you're going down to the base. So we will find out and to try to do a few miles a year on Kansas Settlement.
Did Kansas Settlement flood when monsoon hit? Does it sit with standing water over it, or am I mistaken about the road?
Kansas Settlement where Turkey Creek crosses the road down by Highway 191 on the south end. Yes, it does flood. Did it flood this year?
Is that a place where you're going to put a culvert, a new culvert?
No. It's
It's
probably,
probably shallow,
we would have,
like
yeah, it's about 6 inches deep, half a mile long. So to put culverts there, you would have to build a road up 5 or 6 feet, put 50 culverts. So it's not
Okay.
economically viable really to put culverts there. So we're not. If there is culverts, on the rest of the road that we might, increase those culvert size.
and the water moves really, really slow, so it's not eroding the side of the road. It's not really a problem. It's just kind of fun to drive through.
Destroy it.
Well, it is. I mean, it does, it makes it soft, but we would put concrete edges on it and chip seal or concrete footing on it, curbing on it, flush curbing to help maintain the concrete asphalt that we have there. But yeah, and it's a very slow velocity, so you don't, not like driving across Davis Road or Monson Road, it's flooding. And then we're still working on the some sites. That one has taken the back plate to some of the other projects we have that we're trying to get done. But we are still working with some sites to redo their sidewalks. And relocating the plant on Stafford Lane. And finalizing the plans and specifications to pave Foothills parking lot or repave that. The one that I don't have here was we're going to update the GPS stations. We had in our budget to update our survey equipment, some of our survey equipment. And then we were contacted by the Arizona State Land Department, and they want to update some of to put in some more GPS survey, satellite survey equipment. So we're working with them so that we're not going to both put new satellites.
For weather?
No, this is for survey.
Mhm.
So that GPS ground position satellite, it's where they can talk to the, they can use an instrument to talk to the base station to know that you can get your X, Y, and Z on this point. And so all the surveys, so this will be, in flood control, actually that's flood control. Because the, everyone who does property survey for any reason, has to use, they use GPS. It's how you go get, you hire a surveyor to go put the property pins on, they would use GPS. to do it.
You say the roof plate.
Can it pencil it out?
Is that what it is?
So it's basically a ground positioning system. So that way it's by doing it electronically, you don't have to have a surveyor go and get all these millions of points. It's doing it from the air. And then they basically just verify them with the surveyor.
Yeah, so that when you have the GPS unit, you have, it's like a small flying saucer on it, and it's talking to different satellites. It's actually talking to different satellites, and when it gets 8 or 9 satellites, it's saying, okay, yeah, they're coming together, this is what your point is, but you have your base reference station to make sure that you're on the same grid.
Any further discussion for natural resources and engineering meeting? Okay,
Good job.
then that is adjourned.